Hey there. Have you ever walked away from a conversation and felt like something inside you had been drained? Maybe you second-guessed yourself afterward, felt emotionally exhausted, or like you had to shrink just to keep the peace. If that sounds familiar, you might be dealing with someone toxic. This could be a coworker who constantly criticizes, a family member who manipulates, or even a friend who only reaches out when they need something, never when you do. And the truth is, toxic people can make you feel like you're the problem, when really you're just caught in a pattern that needs attention. So today we're talking about how to deal with toxic people without losing yourself. How to stay grounded, protect your peace, and show up for yourself, even when others don't. Let's begin. Let's be clear, we all have hard days. We all mess up, act defensively, or say things we don't mean. That's being human. But toxic behavior is different. It's consistent, patterned, and often leaves you feeling worse. Not just once, but over and over. Common toxic patterns include dismissing or belittling your feelings, guilt-tripping or manipulating you into doing things, ignoring boundaries, playing the victim while avoiding accountability, creating constant drama or conflict, gaslighting. Making you doubt your own reality. You may feel like you're walking on eggshells, like nothing you do is ever enough, or like your needs always come last. And over time, this doesn't just damage your relationship with them, it damages your relationship with yourself. It's easy to focus on the person, what they said, how they act, how they used to be. But lasting change begins when you step back and ask, how do I feel after I interact with them? Do I feel safe to be honest? Or do I censor myself to avoid conflict? Are my boundaries respected or constantly pushed? Recognizing patterns is powerful. It shifts the focus from trying to fix someone else to empowering yourself to respond differently. This part is hard, especially if you're naturally empathetic or were raised to keep the peace. You may feel responsible for managing their moods, keeping them calm, or keeping the relationship afloat. But here's a truth that may feel both uncomfortable and freeing. You are not responsible for someone else's emotional regulation. You are only responsible for your own. You don't need to carry the emotional weight they won't take ownership of. You don't need to be the peacemaker at the expense of your peace. Not everyone can be cut out of your life. Some toxic people are family. Some are coworkers. Some are inescapable for now. But you always have the right to create space. That might look like limiting how often you engage, keeping conversations surface level and short, saying no more often, without explaining yourself, not answering texts right away, unfollowing or muting their content online. This isn't punishment. It's protection. You're not being cold, you're being clear about what you need to stay healthy and whole. Boundaries aren't walls to push people away. They're fences with gates, ways to define where you end and they begin. Examples of healthy boundaries. I'm not okay with being spoken to like that. Let's talk about this later when we're both calm. I'm not comfortable with that topic. Can we move on? If you continue yelling, I'll leave the conversation. I don't owe you an explanation for that choice. You don't need to raise your voice to make a point. You just need to be clear, consistent, and calm. Remember, a boundary is only as strong as your willingness to enforce it. Toxic people often know how to push your buttons. They rely on emotional reactivity, guilt, defensiveness, fear, to keep you hooked. When that happens, pause, breathe, to respond intentionally or not at all. You don't owe everyone your energy. Silence can be a powerful boundary too. Detach from the drama. You don't need to defend your choices to people committed to misunderstanding you. Toxic relationships can cloud your sense of self. You might forget what you enjoy, what you need, or even what peace feels like. So reconnect. Journal what you're thinking and feeling. Write a list of values you want to live by. Spend time with people who uplift and affirm you. Say this to yourself. Their behavior is about them, not me. The goal is not just to survive toxicity, but to come back home to yourself with more clarity, confidence, and calm. Years ago, I had a friend who drained me constantly. They'd call just to complain, dismiss my wins, and throw subtle jabs wrapped in jokes. I found myself dreading their texts but answering anyway. trying to be there, trying to fix it, trying not to be mean, until one day I stopped trying. I didn't have a big confrontation. I just created space, started saying no more, stopped explaining myself, and slowly I felt myself return. More joy, less anxiety, more room to be who I actually was. It taught me something I'll never forget. Peace is better than pleasing. Toxic people may never change. They may never apologize. They may even accuse you of being the problem. But here's what you always get to do. Protect your energy, set clear boundaries, choose emotional distance over emotional drama, reconnect with who you truly are. You are not too sensitive. You are not selfish. You are not overreacting. You are allowed to take care of yourself. Not just allowed, you're responsible for it. If this message helped, please tap like. It helps more people find guidance and strength when they need it most. Comment below, what's one boundary you're ready to practice this week? And don't forget to subscribe for more grounded, real-world support for your mindset, boundaries, and emotional well-being. You matter. You're not too much. And you never have to lose yourself just to keep someone else comfortable.